Welcome Aurora players and everyone else who is interested to play in Oscilio. 914 points, huh? It's probably looking to L this week and people are already panic selling the cards. So financially, if you get Gun Flash, Gun Funnel, and Channel Lightning Valley, that's your most expensive cards. You're already shaving off like a $120 right now, I'd say. Maybe 150 with postage. I don't want to be like too positive, like too coping how cheap the cards are right now. But that's how much you can shave off. Like the rest of these cards, these is not 100% necessary. Here, cost a little bit in Mind Warp, a little bit in Brilliance. Is like 10 to 15, and this is looking at 10. It was like $4 for the longest. It's kind of wild. Other Majestics very cheap. Equipments you probably have tunic. If you don't, just grab yourself Blossom of Spring. It's very good alternative. In the longer games, you do get to use the tunic counter the resource into stuff like Eclectic and Shocks, or just pitching for Glyph. There is very good uses for it, but yeah, Blossom Offspring, since you generally just use first and foremost this resource into free Greaves, is fantastic option. Yeah, like this deck is not very expensive, and how does this deck actually just differentiate from Aurora? Because in Aurora you just go a lot of like 0 for 4s and attack like kind of aggro-ish. So if you're looking to play a similar just offensive flurry aggro deck, you probably do want to convert into Syndra R5. I'm not gonna tell you Oscilio that. I would not consider Oscilio an aggro deck. He's a deck that does not most of the time like to block, but that's because there's a lot of instance and just there's a lot to be had in the offensive side. It's more of like a setup combo tempo deck where you want to obviously keep the tempo when you can, but manipulating the tempo is really essential and kind of like oscillate between your damage types and your like turns from being defensive or setup oriented into offensive, and you can go multiple turns offensive in a row. I'm doing a video now on tempo next. So yeah, just you're looking to play a synergy combination of cards to ramp up the Volsar. Volsar here, it says X amp is the total number of lightning cards you played this turn. So something along the lines like playing a flittering charge into an instant like Sigil of Conductivity, and then amping 2, sending etchings for 5. General turns like this: Eclectic Magnetism, then you play etchings, maybe off of Tunic. Amp of Walls are because this sticks around. You get Embodiment of Lightning, which are a lot more important. They were very important in Aurora as well, helping to kind of like oil up your turns. But in Oscilio they are even more because action point manipulation is a lot more relevant in this deck. So you generally want to arsenal the cards that let you replay cards like Gun Flash, Blast to Oblivion, all the instant like Sigils, Somersault, very good arsenal targets as well. Not saying that at all. But whenever you get to start Blast or Gun in arsenal, you have Embodiment on ground. You get to do a lot of like nasty shit with this. Bouncing your instants and sigils back to hand, bouncing Gun the Flash back to hand. Like you see the pattern, just replay a lot of the cards. And just by replaying you get to ramp up the Volsar a lot and deal a lot of damage, because if you don't replay your cards, the Volsar does not get over 3 very effectively. Almost never. Because yeah, the limitations of 4 or 5 cards need to be in a ender, and not everything can be lightning, but it tries to be a lightning. That's why we got Fry over Entwine, which has been one of the questions. Because this Entwine card is elemental action. SS0 for Aurora is good because it always has Gogan in this deck basically. even more than in Aurora. But when you want to combo, when you need to combo, you need to have like the Greaves turn to grab the tempo back in the game. Then you get this in your hand, and then your surges don't go through. You can't fix that with Flash of Brilliance when you could fix a Fry with it or Athletic with it. There's a lot of like mediocre sides that just don't really mesh well with the deck, I think, in my opinion. The other choices like Second Strike, yeah, not even on the list. Weave Lightning, not even on the list. We just need starters, and Weave Lightning is too reliant on having attack next, and there's like generally 20-ish attacks in the deck, so it's not gonna hit always, right? But if you keep your Arsenal Gun Flash, you're not always still allowed to do that, of course. You don't always find that card, but it gets a little better, but it's still, I don't think it warrants anything over these cards. The other thing, E-Strike. E-Strike's a good card, but it's just, I think the deck is more synergistic like this. You just get to have your combo open a lot more. And by combo open, I don't mean that you play this deck like a Kano. Think Lightning Greaves more as a Super Snapdragon Scalers, where you just have always the tempo pivot turn with one explosive turn that forces your opponent block, or you gain a lot of value, or you deliver a guaranteed surge through and grab yourself into the game like that. Like Assassin, like Mind Warp Disruption. It's really good. Really good. So E-Strike kind of oiling your turns, but I think like Command and Conquer against decks that E-Strike would go in generally is just better at breaching the turns and forcing the tempo to us, because now the opponent has to block 2 cards, and their 3 cards are not gonna be most of the time very scary. That we can't deal with it. We can block a little bit if there's like a dead card in the hand, but yeah, Calming Breeze is a good card. What else does Aurora play that we do not? Yeah, this is basically just a lot of copies of Second Strike type cards and Entwine Lightning type cards. These are the best attacks in Oscilio, I feel like. Let's go through actually these cards quickly. Nothing like in depth, because I do have a masterclass coming on Null Shock. Already masterclass like guide on Blast Oblivion. But by masterclass guide, I don't mean the Metafy guide. I mean a YouTube guide. Alright. So, Aurors don't play Blast Oblivion too much. They tried it a bit. I think the list did fine, but then it got lost in the sauce. Don't know what happened, to be fair, but this card has to be my favorite card in the game. It's, if not the best, top 3 best cards in the entire deck in Oscilio, because you just get to replay. Like I said, you get to replay a lot of cards, and you stick your conductivities on the ground. You just create print embodiments, doing like a lot of value, and you also at the same time quote unquote draw / tutor the best cards in your deck, the ones you want to draw. You always want to draw sigils for the Volsar Reduction, the Lightning Amp, besides Aether. Please let it be Lightning. Because you just Arsenal Blast or Gun. Generally, you keep Arsenal and Gun in Flash as long as you have the grease up and are looking to combo. Play like value turns with our own like quote unquote Titan's Fist here. So yeah, drawing sigils, so just always a good card with this. So Blast Oblivion, just bouncing it back from hand, activating the FX, getting it back to hand. Absolutely bonkers stuff. Also, like, you see, you have like this on the ground. You swing Blast. That's 1 Volsar count. Then you play an instant. Like, let's dream about Press. We press the Blast, and we get Sigil up. And then we play the Sigil of Conductivity back down, because we need the cost reduction for Volsar. Now you have 3 amp already with 2 cards. It just ramps up very fast. If you are at binding, it makes 4 amp off of 2 cards, and then you shoot your spell, and now you have embodiment for next round as well. So that's why there is 6 blasts. I was playing with less blasts, but I felt like the threat density just got down. Of course, there's like the big Exodia combos with Blast Oblivion as well, with Garden of Flash. Like Blast Oblivion, Somersault, Garden of Flash, Sigil of Brilliance, where you play Garden of Flash. This is a Greaves turn, play Sigil of Brilliance. Then you play Blast Oblivion. And then electromagnetic the Somersault to blast back, triggering Blast. Bouncing the Sigil of Brilliance back, drawing you a card. Play Garden of Flash, Brilliance, Blast Oblivion, instant, bounce Brilliance, draw a card. Very cool look. You can also do that very well with that Garden of Flash, just, you know, ramping up your Volsar really quickly. So it's kind of like having 9 copies of Greaves combo cards for like explosive pivots whenever you're giving the chance to do so. It's just really good. But overall, this card just bridges the best our normal turns and does like a billion arcane damage as well with shocks. Next up, Comet Storm Shock. Yeah, it's a 2 cost. We are not Runeblade, alright? And also, to be fair, I don't think Oscilio can be given a 0 cost shock. That would be way too broken. So, it's a 3 block spell that you can cycle, plays an instant speed, plays an action. It's a big spell that sticks like dominated true damage in a sense. And just instant arcane outlets they are super broken in this deck. Like, you don't mind pitching when you get to play these shocks. Oscilio does not mind pitching most hands. Some hands you might, but yeah, just an all-star card for this deck. Eclectic Magnetism. This is a fantastic card. Sometimes when you play against Syndra, Katsu, stuff like this, it's not good enough. Because taking a turn to play this on 3 cards, you can't afford to use your chest resource to play Eclectic with like Mind Warp. You first have to like line up this with a spell, which requires you to play a little bit different and arsenal a little bit different to play like this path of the deck. If you are not just like randomly falling to it and drawing it naturally, it's gonna happen too. It's not just not doing enough. The value game against like Syndra is not... I've not found that very successful. The best thing is to tank and just find the combo. That has been quite successful. I think the matchup is quite fine if you get to go first. If you go second, unless they turbo break. If you go second, they turbo break and you get free setup. It's the freest matchup in the world, but usually you start the game like 26, so it's not very great. But other than that, Eclectic Magnetism, it's just a fantastic card. Like, block 3s are so valuable in this deck. It's a lightning tag that also like fixes the action points issue, and also like lets you play the spells and lets you fix brick multi-spell hands alone. Just absolutely fantastic cards. The values on this card goes really good. Like, they are just why you pitch Blink or any blue, you play Eclectic Magnetism, 2 floating, you send Comet Storm. That's a 3 card 10. That's already like above rate. You're not doing Volsar here. If you do Volsar, then you're doing 3 card 11. If you do off of Tunic and you have Conductivity on the ground, you should always play first Conductivity ground, as long as you're not dying to it. Off of Tunic, Eclectic, Etchings. What is that? 2 card 9? 2 card 9. If Surge hits, you get like 2 card 12. It's actually, I'd value the Surges more than 3, I think, because there's a lot of context in it. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Somersault, I think this is kind of self-explanatory. We can't block this with this as much, but you really play cards. You do blast combos. You get like high Volsar guns with Flittering Charge, Fry, with Somersault. Just a fantastic card. Discharge, also just a fantastic card. Probably like as an Aurora player, you know how good like the gun, the flash, Discharge, 2 card 11 hand skill. Yeah, you get to do a lot of those here. Then we got Etchings of Arcana. This is one of our 12 spells that we are deploying here. Zero Ghost spell, really good. Just a good zap, surge, you return Sigil back to hand. Just drawing you the best cards. You can play them back down. You can use Oscilio to cycle them for a new card. You can arsenal them. Just actually drawing you a good card. There is also thing where you go like +1 AP on combo turn, where you use Greaves. You have like Embodiment or Blink or Current Funnel during Greaves turn. Now you have like Go Again from Gun, Go Again from the instant. You generate 2 action points rather than 1. Then you use 1 to etching, so you pick up any sigil, and then you're gonna again attack. Gone, sigil, gone for 8 more. It's like very sick card. Flaring Charge is just one of the best starters that we have, if not the best. But like without embodiment, it's yeah, that's a good card. I don't know what to say. Fry, similar to Flaring Charge, but you don't need an instant. It blocks 0. I know I've been hating this card a lot, but it's just so good. It's I wish they would replace this with a better card. Yellow Flittering Charge is an idea, but the problem with that is that sometimes it draw like the need to play an instant is too taxing for your hand for it to be like effective enough, whereas Fry just does the thing alone and turns on Current Funnel, which Current Funnel is just the best card in the deck whenever you get to use the effect very well. It's just I don't know, it's a very good card. It's basically 0 for 4, and the 1 value over on Volzar when you get to use it is much more valuable and important than on a physical attack, because how AB works in this game, how split damage is broken. So yeah, Glyph Overlay, just a fantastic spell. It's the most spell that is on raid ever printed in this game, I think, because you just, I don't know, it goes very quickly to like 5, 6, 7 for like absolutely no effort. And then this surge effect is kind of insane too. Like this 1 life is very nice, but shuffling your sigils, the cards that you want to draw back in the deck, is fantastic. Do keep in mind that there is a little clause here, of course, because when you're shuffling the sigils in your deck, it's a little bit under-synergy with etchings, but you can play around this, right? Just make sure you have a sigil in your grave. And yeah, the other thing is that you get like a lot of instants back into your deck, so you can't block late game, but generally late game is post Greaves turn, where you have the tempo. So when you have the tempo, if you arsenal correctly, the instants are always good, especially pairing with just a kill range and shock. If you still have Greaves, they are even better in the deck, because now you can Greaves. But sometimes can be bad, for sure, not saying that, but just keep that in mind. You always want to keep all these contexts and things that can be happening in mind. It's not a straight up just slam this, always kill your opponent. Most of the time it is, but yeah, a little bit of decision there. Gun the Flash, I don't know, we just abuse this a lot more than Aurora. It's just all the instants with this, you go gone, instant, instant spell. Yeah, GG's. 25, like 25-30 value turn, damage turn, and it gets like a lot of crazier. You just have so many consistent plays with Gun Flash as well, where you get to block like 3 cards, and then you send Gun Flash, play an instant, and the instant just attacked for 4 and got its effects as well, and you get to arsenal this. The value plays are really good, and this card is really cool. It's just, yeah, that's the best card overall in the deck. It does most of the lifting. Last Oblivion is a bit of a learning curve, but it's very high up next to Gun Flash for sure. Lightning Press, just one off because it can be awkward. Probably optimally want to play 2 off instead of High Voltage, because Press is just a better card. But look at this, 30, 15, 15. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Press obviously broken with Fleeting Charge, Blast to Oblivion, with Eclectic Magnetism. With Fry 2 is 0 for 4. It's basically cyclable fry, right? But it just relies on attacks where there is like 20 of them. So that's why it can't really be played at 3, because then you have like too many cards in your hand that you want to use Oscilio for. So yeah, trying to reduce that. And it does work with Gun Flash, a little bit awkwardly though, where you don't, if you pop Creeves, this press is there. And in damage step or resolution step, you play press and bounce back Gun. If there is no other attacks blocking or in the chain link, then this fizzles and you don't get the action point back. But you can target defending cards, the cards that have been before in the chain, as long as the chain link is not broken. Also, you can target Gun Flash in layer step with Lightning Press to make it a 7 attack, and then you also get to keep Gun Flash's text, as well as being able to get the action point out of Lightning Press. There is ways to play around it. Also makes a popper against Prince, so yay. 10 Lightning Valley. People want to cut this, but nah. You need to play Gun Flash less list to realize how much heavy lifting this card does actually. Just fantastic with Blast Oblivion. Gun Flash does not like interact so well with Channel Lightning Valley, whereas this mostly is just something to bounce Gun Flash back to hand. But yeah, it's like yeah, it's too good with Blast Oblivion. It's too good with Eclectic Magnetism, too good with Flittering Charge. Just, you know, you don't get to keep it like as reliably around as Aurora does, but a lot of the times you have the option to keep it around rather than arsenal some other card. Within the context, it might be the right play, honestly, because it's one of the best tempo tools in the deck, where you make your opponent block this, and then they don't pressure you back, so you get to be the aggressor, as well as like it forces sometimes very awkward blocks where you just kill your opponent's value out of their hand to make them play like quite poorly. So yeah, that's just a good card. Just a good card. Mind Warp. Yeah. Dark dealing your opponent -1. It's a very toxic card. It's a very toxic card. Just very good card. Sometimes though, when you send this to a Jorl, they get Oaken Old Hand. It is what it is. Null Shock, or should I say just Shock? Yeah, it's basically Shock. Null is quite never happening. It was used against Transcends, against Aura's Melded cards, CLVs. There is uses for Null for sure, but it's just the instant bit Shock that is so powerful, like I discussed here. But now it's a yellow and a 1 cost, so you can do very fancy shit with Tunic. You can do very fancy shit with Blast without Tunic, and just get the kill range on the opponent. Also fancy stuff with Gun Flash. It just, you know, the instant tag working with everything, and this not needing an action point to outlet Volzar. It's just too broken. It's too broken. Yeah. Then we got Citadel of Brilliance. Wow, that's a good card. It's triple and draw 2 card. That's a spec. What can I say? Good card. Blink. Action point mantling. Blue, lightning. Yeah. I don't know. Block 6, block 5. Set Gun, blink, Gun, sigil, arsenal, Gun. Fantastic value plays. Also, just Gun Flash in this, turning current funnel on. That's like, that happens relatively often in the long games, and it's like the Dreamland. That's just a Greaves turn again. Yeah, current funnel, 3 copies of throwable Lightning Greaves. Not always turned on, of course, but yeah, like I said with Blink, like I said with Fry, like I said, just keep playing for embodiments, and current funnel will be on. quite a lot of the time, besides in very, very heavy aggros. And of course decks that the go again is not as good, like some Guardians, Jarl, Victor. I guess Victor fine too, but yeah, just attacking against Clash is sometimes much worse than just sending underrate spell. So do keep that in mind. But whenever current funnel is on, yeah, the game is just over. You go crazy stuff with this. Bear in mind that this says the next action card you play this turn. Okay, go again. So again, like one example turn here. This happened in last Armory. So against Verdance, I had Gun and Flash at Arsenal, had Embodiment. I swing Gun, I play Sigil of Aether. Here, bounce back Gun and a Flash in hand. Get action point because like Gogan, current funnel online, ship the thing. Now gives Gogan for the next thing. I pop resource out of Tunic, send Eclectic Magnetism, shoot Etchings for what was it, 3? Oh no, it was not Sizzle Vader. I was anyways, I went over their AB. So I got the Sigil back with Etchings, and then since this was an instant, this had a go again. Now I could swing Gun again, playing Sigil Arsenal Gun. Yeah, just I don't know what are those values in those combos. So good. High Voltage, a very cool card. I really love this card, and I really want it to be good. It's a good card, allowing like multi-spell hands, but you need to draw it. You need to draw the spells. You need to have the action points. So there's like a lot of need for it, unfortunately. But one card amping 2, as I discussed earlier, it's hard to get Vulsar over 3. So it helps quite a lot against AB3 slower decks. So you get your surges through and can keep like the consistent value up and spike your values. Like spiking your values, especially and damage, especially through Arcane, is just so important against turtle decks. But just the one of because it's hard to find in the lineup. But it being blue, it's really cool. I love this card. I love this art. So cool. Sigil of Aether, unfortunately not lightning, but it's a sigil. Just mainly a sigil, because we do want sigil per hand or connectivity on the ground. And when you play a game where you don't draw sigils in your first like 15 cards, it feels super bad and doomed. So just having more sigils is better. If they print a new sigil for us, this will be the first one to get replaced. But there is like a lot of cool shit to happen with this card. Like you get to ask the Surgeon Aethertide question on your opponent. Like, do you want to AB this? Like maybe the opponent ABs this with like a blue, and now they gave their one card for one value out of your hand, and then you just attack Gun the Flash like twice, or like current funnel, a fry current funnel Gun the Flash, bounce Gun the Flash, Gun the Flash, bounce Gun the Flash. Yeah, no spell. Just one value out of your card. It's a lose-lose situation, and it's also a pseudo spell because with this Leaves Arena it deals arcane damage. So return target over permanent when you play instant. You play a lot of shit. You have this one on the ground, you swing Blast. You play High Voltage, which is whatever instant really. And you pick this one up, Wolves are in response, and now you Sigil of Aether, dealing 12 arcane. They are really fun lines. And also like there is stuff happening with it with Cliff Overlay, of course, because this pops it, this deals damage, you can activate bindings. And this pops like 3 conductivities, 1 Sigil of Lightning, 1 Sigil of Aether. So you get like 5 amp into this. So now this is doing like 20 and this is doing like 5 extra. There's like a lot of cool lines with it. But they are more niche than having a blue and having a sigil in its name. So yeah. Conductivity. The games that this card is played, the win rate shoots up. Like, just please play the card. It is so fucking good. Getting to bounce it, getting to have walls are free, always. Sometimes you don't get to pitch and fix your hand or keep CLV around, but They are so rare that just having the upside of this card is so good. So good. And just that best pair of Blast Oblivion, really. Sigil of Lightning just yeah, then you make embodiments cool. Like sometimes these two cards are better than the Sigil of Brilliance. Like drawing a random card just not really help fix your action point problems. So probably you have already a banger hand, but you're just a greedy motherfucker who wants to draw more cards. You can't play your hand because you did this, and now you're stuck with current funnel and 2 spells and 1 sigil, and your hand does nothing. If you just grab Sigil of Lightning with like etchings beforehand and play that, and now your hand is like suddenly again like, I don't know, 30 value. Yeah, keep in mind, really good. Like I said, this is not needed, but offensive proactive game delay, where you're able to force pivot the tempo with this as well, is really good. Sigil of Solace is an instant that gives you 3 life. Block 3 cards, Gone in the Flash, Sigil of Solace, Arsenal, Gone in the Flash. So 1 card 7, 2 card 11. That is a 4 card. What did I say? 16, 15? I don't know. It's just, really good anyways. But the meta is slowing down, so the HP is kind of sometimes just a novelty. It's always better for Oscilio to stay proactive, and Sigil of Solace does not always help that. The life buffer does help that, because you're able to then care less about your opponent stuff. But usually, like now, the disrupt use damage is not really, but just, you know, you need it against hard aggros, against aggros. Just need it. Basically, just if you get to cast like 2 of these in a game against aggro, or 1 of this, it probably means like you get 1 extra turn, which is life and death situation. Just a good card. Sink Below, I mean, we're trying to set up, trying to look for a combo in aggro matchups to keep up with their speed, unless we also like a high roll. So like this, giving ability to block breakpoints, just block efficiently and dig deeper to our deck faster. Just, you know, very good card. It's a sync. Well, why am I explaining sync? Why is a good card, man? Like Kano Killer, yeah. You just draw this, and now Kano does their thing. Pop Striders use their thing. Use all their stuff. Decide on meta carps. After that, rewind the either Wildfire. GG's. There's a case against Brutes as well, but it's debatable. Like, if you have multi-instant hand and this, you are essentially like making the cards 2 instants block a fair bit of damage off the BRB, but I don't know. Yeah. Scour, very fantastic Wizard All-Star card. Shoot the motherfucking Fang that you kill anyways, so they are extra sad. That's not the reason why it's in the deck. Don't have any personal vendetta against Fang players. But yeah, Vincent is mainly the culprit here, because you deny their Rune Gates, you deny their Malefics, you just time walk them. They cry when they play Scar. They are very sad. Stack Florian. This is a good card, not as good as in Verdance, because we don't necessarily get to pitch 9 blues or like 9 resources into it to get like 18 value. Generally we get like 3 to 5, which is still fine, but not too amazing. Like, I wouldn't just for Stack Florian play this in my deck, to be fair. And also, if your opponent is on the mid-range list, a more aggro list, it's not a whole lot of times that they're left with Rune Chance, so then this kind of dead card in hand. Oh yeah, just a good card. Snag, just a good card into, like, these are this meta choice silver bullet cards, and this is targeting assassins, right? Kind of self-explanatory. You get to block with this insane values at times, but now they are moving a little bit forwards because of Tao Tao's winning list into dagger pump type stuff. So snag, yeah, it's like you don't get to deny the pumps from the pumps that forefront pump. Yeah, a lot of pumps. So then this card just does not do anything. Very low opportunity cost because you can cycle the way with Oscilio, right? And it's a blue. But if it lands up on the monster, and that's like that dream castle scenario right there, you're like Princess Roses awakening from your sleep. And that's like the first thing you see, you're like, holy shit. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't line up. Sometimes you cycle it. Some cuttable. I don't know. That's a lot of I don't knows as well. Shock Charmers, just Kano and Mirror. Kano and Mirror. So Spell Void 2 means 10 to 15, 10 to 14 life against Kano when they combo. 10 if it's a 3 card and ends with Blast. Not Blast. Jesus. Blazing. And if it's 4 cards, then it's 14 life. Just really good. But the main thing is Rewind. This just does not let them shoot any random wildfire combo they see. The first wildfire over AB1. You can also play Spellfray Tiara for SV3 and a third 3-1. So then you get to deny a lot of stuff from Kano. Playing Sigil of Solace is just clocking them down. Having like a straight kill shot in your arsenal. Yeah, that's my kryptonite to see the Kano players whine about this Oscilio cheese tech, which makes the matchup miserable for them. I don't know, man. Kano players crying about cheese techs. Dude, the whole deck is just cheese nowadays. It's a fucking disgusting cheese. I don't want to touch that. So yeah, it's basically just covers that whole ordeal, right? In Oscilio, you can play very comfortably like these 2-offs because you go so fast through your deck and you can handle the speed very well. This ability is crucial but very hard to use and can lose your games if you do it the wrong steps and handle it at the wrong speeds. So yeah, and also one-offs are not bad, but like optimal this would be 2 presses, but it's too good. 13, 15, 15, 15. Like you do the blackjack card count thing with these ratios when you got 13, 15, 15, you got 20 and 12. It's kind of clean cut to count. What are you throwing? So I hope this helped. I hope this opened up. Oscilio is a fair bit different from Aurora, obviously. Even though they're both lightning heroes, you get to use some of the same cards, but you use them quite a bit differently. All in all, TLDR, if you look into premier aggro deck like Aurora, you don't get it in Oscilio. You get probably in Fire or Syndra. I don't know. But you get high octane gameplay right here. A lot of cool stuff, cool turns, and a very hard hero. A very hard hero, but very rewarding one. So alright, man. I was here a new patron page. I just have to thank you all so much for the recent support. I like the support overall, but it's been growing. I don't know why, and I'm so thankful for that. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I'll see you at the tempo video, like this shit. I feel like this is gonna be a banger, even if I say it so myself. So have a nice day. Peace.